Hi everyone, how are you? Today we are going to talk about something extremely important and vital, which is public speaking. You guys, I'm making this video to give you 5 comprehensive tips that you can use in your day-to-day life, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, whether you are a law student and you're mooting or debating, or you're an actual lawyer standing before, whether you have to make a presentation in a meeting or give a toast in somebody's wedding, whether you have to just put your point across with a friend, family member or a colleague. All these tips are useful across the board. I must tell you that. And of course, I understand that for different kinds of public speaking, you would need certain customized tips, and I will make videos according to that. So comment below what you want to see and what forms of public speaking you would want me to target specifically. But apart from that, I would really want you to just listen to these 5 tips to become a more comprehensive, a more confident and a more impactful public speaker in general. So without wasting any more time, let's get started and let's get right to the point. Number one tip is a psychological one, I believe. You first need to understand, why do you get sweaty palms? Why do you get so nervous? Why do you get so intimidated when you have to speak in public? And the only reason why it happens is spotlight effect. I have made a whole video in past explaining why that happens and what spotlight effect actually is, and I'll put it somewhere here above me in this YouTube video, and you can check that out. But to just give you a gist, spotlight effect happens because everyone is looking at you and the spotlight is at you when you are speaking in front of a group of people, in a gathering, in a meeting, no matter where. And you feel intimidated because the spotlight is on you and you feel like that a lot is expected out of you. So first of all, understand and acknowledge that it happens, and it happens with everyone. So you don't have to get worried. It's okay to have sweaty palms. It's okay to have nervousness because it's psychological. It does not mean that you're not going to make sense or that you're doomed from the start. And it is so scary. How will you cope with it? I think everyone copes with it, and it is normal to feel nervous, and you just have to accept and embrace that nervousness and get ahead with it. So do not be afraid of that spotlight effect. It's bound to happen. Number 2, get comfortable. No matter where you're speaking, what you're speaking, who you're speaking in front of, you need to be comfortable. And you cannot be comfortable if you are sick, if you are thinking about 10,000 other things, if you are thirsty, if you have to go pee, if you have to go use the washroom, if you have certain kind of unresolved tension and stress going on. So before you're going to speak, first of all, go use the washroom and drink, because if you're going to speak on a larger length of time, you're going to get thirsty and you're going to feel parched. And because of that, your voice is going to crack and all of that. And you know, an uncomfortable speaker is the worst speaker. So you have to get comfortable. Third, if you can, then go and look at the surroundings. You can just get comfortable with the podium, just get comfortable with your chair, just get comfortable with the spot from which you're going to be speaking. That really helps, you know. You go and get accustomed to the settings. That's why your stage fear will go away. A lot of our stage fear comes from the fact that the stage is actually an unfamiliar and uncharted territory for us. So you go and get comfortable. And you wear comfortable clothes, you look at the mirror and just make sure that you're looking completely okay, prim and proper. You have no lipstick on your teeth, your clothes fit you well, your clothes are ironed, everything is just perfect. So you need to first of all make sure of that. Number 3, and it's a very important tip, and I think a lot of people really ignore that. You guys, I understand, and I think it's a general understanding that before you give a speech, you need to be prepared. You do your preparation. But a lot of people do this preparation only with respect to content, and they don't really concentrate on their voice. You guys, sometimes it happens that you go in front of a mic, especially if it's a mic and it's a huge podium where your voice might echo as well. You say hi, or you say respected gentlemen, whatever. As soon as you utter your first word, you are startled by your own voice. You're like, oh my God, do I sound like that? Because you have never said things out loud. You were so focused on the content, on the structure of the thing, that you forgot that you needed to speak. Take a mirror and speak in front of it, a full-size mirror. Or I think the most horrifying and difficult, but also the most beneficial, is to record your voice. Record your voice and listen to your voice recording. It can be really, really cringe-worthy. I understand. I used to do podcasts before. I hated listening to my own podcast, and people used to tell me your voice sounds so nice. And I used to be like, excuse me, that sounds horrible, and I always get a feeling of cringe after listening to that. It was because nobody is used to their voice when it is projected. So get used to your voice projections. Get comfortable with that. Take a full-size mirror, as I said, and practice in front of it. Take a friend and speak out loud your speech. That's the difference between written form and your spoken form of things. When you're writing an essay, of course, your entire focus is your content, because you're never going to speak it out loud. You're going to concentrate on the content, and that's what you're going to reproduce. But for speeches in spoken form, in speeches, debates, mood, whatever that is, you also need to practice how to speak. Number 4 is, it is also extremely important that you practice in the form of pointers. You guys, as I said, we practice a lot of content. But what we do is that we write each and every word. And what happens is, when we go there to speak in front of a lot of people, if अगर एक and या एक और या एक the या एक but भी आप भूल गए, तो you start feeling jittery. That, oh my god, I've forgotten what the next paragraph was, how the next line starts. Oh my god, now what to do? You are not a news reporter. You're not going to go there and read things out loud. You should be able to just have a basic structure and just pointers ready. And then you should be able to elaborate that when it's your turn to speak. Of course, there are things like statistics and dates and numbers and stuff like that, where you have to exactly say what it is written. But otherwise, you should be able to just have a basic structure and pointers and elaborate. Just to give you an idea of that, if you can see, I just have a basic pointers written for this video. I do not have an elaborate picture of, there is no script, no nothing of what I'm speaking, which also makes my content not scripted. I never wanted this content to come off as if, like, the tone of this content to come off as if it's scripted, or as if I'm just reading it out from a piece of paper. I wanted it to be chatty, I wanted it to be conversational, and it can only happen if I do a lot of on-spot things. And you know what? When you prepare your content from pointers, what happens is that you are ready for impromptu things. You're ready for a question that is asked out of the box. You're ready for any time when somebody says that, okay, you go and speak impromptu. You would have the ability and habit to just jot down few pointers and then elaborate on the spot. It is extremely important to do that, because when you're speaking, I always say that when you're speaking, there should be a structure, and maybe because it comes from me being a lawyer. But most of the speeches, it should be point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. And even if that structure is on your paper and is not visible to the naked eye of all those of your audience, they should be able to gauge that structure, because that is how structured your speaking should be. And it will only happen if you start practicing with few pointers and a basic outline. And number 5 is, first of all, understand your second time is always going to be better than your first time. Your third time is always going to be better than your second time. Practice makes people perfect, especially with public speaking. As I said, you need to go, and if you can, make yourself comfortable with the stage, with the podium that you're going to be speaking on, because so that it doesn't remain in uncharted territory. People who are in the habit of picking up the mic and addressing a larger audience and going to a podium or going to a stage and going in front of the room and speaking, they are more, of course, at home with the art of public speaking. So never compare yourself your first time with somebody's 100th time. That's not going to help you. I would, at this particular point, really, really inspire you to go check out my first video, my first ever YouTube video. I'll link it somewhere here. So what you will actually, I hope, realize that there is a considerable difference between my first video and this video. I have always been very comfortable with public speaking. Public speaking, I always thought was my forte and something that I really enjoy, and I found myself really at home with. Also because I'm a I'm a very talkative person, I'm a lawyer by profession, all of that. But at the same time, my first YouTube video was kind of crap. My first podcast episode was also kind of crap. But now I'm getting a little bit decent with it. It's been 6-7 months, right? So practice makes anyone perfect, and it should also make you perfect. So do not lose hope. So guys, here were the 5 tips that I think if you can use, you can do really well and you can improve immensely in the art of public speaking. Art of public speaking, just like any other art, can be learned, can be polished, and can be perfected. There is no magic formula. It all comes with practice. It all comes with confidence in yourself. And it all comes with acknowledging the fact that spotlight effect is real and you can't escape it, but you can definitely win. Hope you guys like this video. If you did, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.